Hello, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness for Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Today we are getting a story out of Emily Pike, the San Carlos Apache tribe, 14 years old, from Mesa, Arizona, found murdered, deceased. Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness, Darlene J. Clark. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. Need to learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. In Luke chapter 17, verse 2, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones. Okay, the chat here. Hey, Chris. Thoughts and prayers are with you, man. Thank you for coming. Hello, old lady O. Thanks for coming. I'm letting you restart your phone. Coming back with us. Hello, Chris. Eric. Welcome back, old lady O. Welcome back, Eric and Danielle as well. I hope I give this story justice because these stories need out there. See this precious soul on the screen right here, Emily Pike. She did not deserve what had happened to her. So let me share my screen. I got a lot of different pages and stuff. Some of them might repeat, but the main thing is getting the story out there as much as possible. Dead disappeared from Arizona group history of missing persons reports. On February the 14th, parts of Emily's remains were found outside of Globe in a remote area of a Highway 60. In Mesa, Arizona, as the memorial for Emily Pike grows on the corner in Mesa. So do questions about last seen on January the 27th near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road, leaving her group home on foot. For more than 2 weeks, she was listed as missing runaway. Wow, see right here, the man helps a hitchhiking girl to get home. The next day, he turns pale after seeing this on the news. Wow. On February the 14th, parts of Emily's remains were found outside of Globe in a remote area off of Highway 60. We go with the family, the friends, the mother, everybody who is hurting during this time. It's hard for me, said Emily's grandmother, Agatha Quay, in an interview with 12 News on Sunday. It's hard for me to imagine what happened to her. Emily wasn't publicly identified until last week after a memo was leaked from the Hala County Sheriff's Office on social media. The memo said her head and torso were found in trash bags, and some of her remains are still missing. History of missing persons cases. The group home where Emily went missing from has a history of missing persons calls. In the past 3 years, there have been 30 missing persons cases from the same home, according to a public information officer with the Mesa Police Department. 12 News is not identifying the group home for privacy concerns, as a group home serves minor residents. I tell you what, y'all better get your act together, because there's something going on right now when you're not protecting the kids, when there's at least 30 missing that's going missing. Y'all need to do a better job. You're responsible for these children. The website for the group home company says they serve girls ages 7 to 17, and that they take referrals from the Department of Child Safety and Tribal Social Services. A spokesperson for DCS said Emily Pike was not in the department's care. When the I-team went to the home, an adult who answered declined to speak with us, and we couldn't reach anyone by phone. Wow. Said that wasn't in the department's care. I'm shaken. I can't believe this. On Tuesday night, there was a huge show of support for Emily at a vigil in her group home's neighborhood. The vigil, put on by the Salt River FEMA Maricopa Indian community, is not just for Emily, but for MMIWP, missing and murdered indigenous women and people. Sorry, at times I get tongue tied. Emily's family said they're from the San Carlos Apache tribe. We came all the way from San Carlos just to see and be a part of this, because to us, this is part of healing, said Emily's aunt, April Victor. I'm shaking. I can't believe this. She said they've been overwhelmed by all the support as they search for answers. This is Emily's village, Victor said. You can't just roam around free. We have people supporting us, loving us. We're moving forward with love. There can only come consequences with that. Emily's murder strikes a nerve in the community. On Monday night, another teen was not at the same group home. Police were called and people volunteered to search the area. Within hours, the teen reportedly returned to the home safe. The ordeal highlights the difficulties of missing persons cases and how they can put communities on edge. The Hollis County Sheriff's Office is working with the San Carlos Apache Police on the Emily Pike's murder investigation. At this point, there haven't been any arrests in the case. The former roommate describes what happened before Emily Pike's Mesa disappearance. New details shed light on what happened inside a Mesa group home from which 14-year-old Emily Pike ran from before her dismembered remains were discovered on a rural forest road 100 miles away. Pike was last seen alive on January 27th near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road. The Hollis County Sheriff's Office said the body parts were found in trash bags on February the 14th off US 60 northeast of Globe. Pike's former roommate in the group home shared what happened before the teen's disappearance and why she may have left in the first place. This fills in several missing pieces about what Pike's life was like in the group home, a place where she was not the first or only teen to have run away from. My relationship with Emily was trying to steer her in the right direction, because it's hard being in the group home, said a former roommate who we're referring to as Chelsea to protect her identity. Chelsea said she lived at the group home near Mesa Drive in McKellips for 4 years, and that Emily lived there 2 different times. Pike was from the San Carlos Apache Reservation, and Chelsea said she came to Mesa, excuse me, due to her struggle with mental health and because there were better resources to help in the valley. Well, Chelsea recently moved out. She is in contact with many girls who still live there. She said Pike left the home in late January because she wanted to visit a boy she met while taking guitar lessons. Chelsea said that at the time Pike left, a church group was conducting activities at the group home. What it looked like was that the church was there and that served as a distraction of when Emily left, Chelsea said. She left because she wanted to go out and see the boy she liked, and she wanted to talk to him. She either used the back door or used the window and left as everyone was distracted. Police tell Arizona's family that the group home manager reported Pike missing, and Chelsea said Emily had run away before. My time being there, I've seen many kids run away from this group home, Chelsea explained. Uh-oh. According to Mesa Police Department, this group home alone reported 30 children as missing over the past 3 years. Stuart Somershoe, a retired Phoenix police missing persons detective, said this is common, but these cases quickly become high risk. A lot of our human trafficking and sex trafficking originate from group home kids because they are the most vulnerable victims out there, Summershoe said. Based on where Emily's remains were found off US 60, heading northeast, Chelsea believes she was trying to go home. I feel like she just ran away and she was trying to hitchhike back to her reservation to see her parents. And she just got picked up by the wrong person, Chelsea said. The Gila County Sheriff's Office is the lead on this investigation. Arizona's family asked for an update on the case Tuesday, but did not respond. A vigil in Pike's honor is planned for 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, where she was last seen alive. Here's where the mom speaks in tearful interview after daughter's remains found dismembered. Her dismemberment, excuse me, dismembered remains were left in trash bags off the side of the road. The victim's mother, Steph Dozella, shared how she found out that about her daughter and the emotions she experienced. A video of Emily wishing a loved one well shows her young teenage innocence. It's everything she embodied to her family and friends. My daughter, she was a very happy and kind person. She loves painting. She loves art. She loves to draw, said her mother, Steph Dizella. Dizella said her daughter was hoping to go to college and pursue her love of art. That all changed in late January. Her case manager finally came a week later to tell me she was missing. Emily's family lives on the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation and told Arizona's family that at the time she was living in a group home in Mesa. According to the Mesa Police Department, Emily was last seen alive on January 27th near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road in Mesa. The group home manager reported her missing. This week, the Gila County Sheriff's Office said they found dismembered remains of Fairweather 14 in a wooded area off Highway 60 past Globe. According to detectives, Emily's torso and head were in large contractor trash bags, with her legs in another. They have not been able to find her arms and hands. The autopsy showed visible face and head trauma. Why did it go that far? She was just an innocent. She was a baby. It's pain that I hope no other mother will go through, DeSella said through tears. She said detectives came to her home and gave her a DNA test, which helped in the investigation to identify her daughter. They had three suspects, but they didn't tell me their names yet. They will talk to me about it today, she said. Gisela said as her daughter's 15th birthday approaches, it'll be hard to celebrate her first in heaven, but they'll make sure Emily is celebrated today, tomorrow, and every heavenly birthday that lies ahead. You'll never be forgotten. I love you, her mom said. Until we meet again, rest in peace. We know her manner of death is homicide, but her cause of death is still unknown. Anyone with information is urged to call the Gila, it's spelled Gila, and it's called Gila, County Sheriff's Office, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, or the San Carlos Apache Tribal Police. I need to go ahead and copy that. Okay, I'll put this over here. Yeah, it's unfortunately very common, ain't it? Oh, there, Eric, good to see you. So let me place this in the um, captions here, or I can scroll this down at add a ticker. I don't mind showing y'all. Got it scrolling down at the bottom of the screen there. So here's the tragic death of Native teen Emily Pike, sparks nationwide call for justice. Pike's case has drawn the attention of hundreds of thousands of people through social media. From heartbreak and devastation to outrage, Emily Pike's tragic death is stirring heavy emotions and putting the spotlight to a crisis that has long plagued Native Americans, where a disproportionate number of people have been killed or have gone missing. In the case of San Carlos Apache teenager, she disappeared from her group home on the edge of a Phoenix suburb in the late January. Authorities posted a picture on social media saying she was missing and had possibly run away. Just a couple inches shy of 5 foot tall. She was wearing a pink and gray shirt. It was nearly a month later that sheriff's deputies in a neighboring county reported finding Pike's remains. It was more than 80 miles from where she was last seen. Since then, news of her brutal death have reverberated through Indian country and beyond. A crowd was expected to gather Thursday at an intersection in Mesa near her group home to honor her life and to press for changes that might help curb the violence. Advocates say the crisis stems from colonization and forced removal, which marginalize indigenous people by erasing their culture and identity. Limited funding, understaffed police departments, and a jurisdictional checkerboard that prevents authorities from working together have only exacerbated the issue. Pike's case has drawn the attention of hundreds of thousands of people through social media. Some have shared photos of themselves, their mouths covered with a red handprint that has become emblematic of the movement to end the violence. Posts included the hashtags No More Stolen Sisters, hashtag Say Her Name, and hashtag Justice for Emily. In Wisconsin, organizers plan for their own candlelight vigil. Flyers in Colorado encourage people to wear red and Daisy Blue Star, a Southern Ute tribal member of Colorado's missing and murdered Indigenous relatives task force posted a video about Pike with the hashtag Colorado stands with you. The girls' basketball team at Miami High School in Arizona wore jerseys with MMIW and a red handprint on the back. We're all mourning this terrible loss. Excuse me. of a precious young girl. Emily really has become everyone's daughter, granddaughter, and niece, said Mary Kim Tishia, a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe. Title, uh, Tidia, I can't see her name right there. I got to get it bigger. Titla herself has three female relatives who went missing and were killed. Wow. They get to know. Hashtag justice for Emily Pike. That's right. Titla herself has three female relatives who went missing and were killed. She said the community has come together to honor Pike and to demand justice. This shared solidarity comes from desire for healing from historical and generational trauma, she said. It affects so many people, Titla said, and I think the reason is because we all know someone. It could be a relative, it could be a friend, it could be in our own tribal community. Pike, Pike's remains were found northeast of Globe, Arizona, the Gila County Sheriff's Office said. Like many others, her case involves multiple agencies. Gila County is working with Mesa Police, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and the FBI. Mesa Police typically don't investigate runaway reports, but the agency did list Pike as missing on its Facebook page 2 days after the group home reported she was gone. Arizona's Department of Child Safety requires notification of a child's missing status to occur within a day of receiving the information. However, that requirement doesn't extend to tribal social services, according to Annika Robinson. Oh, that's so wrong, ain't it? That is very wrong. The requirement, so you're leaving the tribal nations out, people. They're a part that live in the United States, so and you're leaving them out. That's what they're talking about. That's why they're so angry. That's why they want people to know about this because they have to get out. Usually, they're on missing people things. Guess what? Because they haven't been doing it for them a lot of times. Our government, the people, our cities and stuff is not doing it for the Native American, the Indigenous, and that is so wrong. Who believes in that? Who believes I'm telling the truth right there? It's so wrong for them not to do it. Please put a one in the box to support it. However, that requirement doesn't extend, like you said right there. So, according to Annika Robinson, president of the nonprofit foster care advocacy group, ASA, now, Pike was in the custody of Carlos Apache Tribe Social Services, which could not be reached for comment at the time she went missing from the group home in Mesa. Mesa police reported Pike as missing to the National Crime Information Center the evening of January the 27th. Police have said it would have been up to the group home to contact her case manager, who then would have contacted Pike's family or tribe. The girl's mother, Steph Dozella, has said in interviews that she didn't hear about her daughter's disappearance until a week later. Can you imagine that? Your own mother, the mother of this daughter, not even knowing that her daughter was missing until a week later, right? Robinson questioned why it took so long. Imagine what probably had already transpired by that week, she said. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs in 2023 created a task force to identify policies for addressing the high rates of disappearances and killings among the Native American population. A final report is due in 2026. How come it's taken 3 years to do a report on it, to have the analysis report in? With all the studies and all the computers and everything that we have today, shouldn't they be capable of having more of the studies out there? Wow. Washington, New Mexico, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Wyoming also have created task forces dedicated to this crisis. Wow. President Donald Trump, during his first term, created the nation's first task force to begin looking at the problem, dubbing it Operation Lady Liberty. The Biden administration followed with a special unit within the Bureau of Indian Affairs. U.S. attorneys' offices in key areas began taking a closer look at unsolved cases, and top officials held listening sessions across the nation. Just last month, the federal government launched an initiative to help solve missing and unidentified persons cases. Well, I'm saying you got to really be looking more into the indigenous. Okay. They deserve a voice as well. Rates throughout what that one's got to sign up. From heartbreak and devastation to outrage, it's in stirring emotions and all that. So let me go to, here we go, further down right here. I want to read this. A trio no more. Four of Pike's cousins, all to her, recounted they knew as a funny, kind, and happy person who loved animals. K-pop and she and Terraria, another 15-year-old cousin, grew up with Pike on the San Carlos Apache Reservation. The three were always by each other's side and laughing, Palmer said. She said Pike would call her, and the last time they spoke was just weeks before she disappeared. Wow. In their last conversation, Pike shared she was going to return to the reservation within a month. Palmer and Steele became excited about the shopping trips they wanted to plan. We're not going to have a trio anymore, Palmer told the Associated Press, her voice choking up with Steele by her side. Tony Duncan and his 12-year-old daughter performed a jingle dance when he said he has an origin of healing. Duncan's father spoke in Apache before the dance and sang a lullaby. Mary Kian Titla, a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, wore pink. Pike's favorite color, individual, and said the teen had dreamed of becoming a tears that are shed are part of a healing process, Titla said. Titla has three female relatives who went missing and were killed. She said the community has come together to honor Pike and to demand justice. This shared solidarity comes from a desire for healing from historical and generational trauma, she said. It affects so many people, Titla said. And I think the reason is because we all know someone. Advocates say the crisis stems from colonization and forced removal, which marginalize indigenous people by erasing their culture and identity, limited funding, understaffed police departments, and a jurisdictional checkerboard that hinders authorities from working together have only exacerbated the issue. Everyone's daughter, Pike's case has drawn attention across social media. Some people have shared photos of themselves with mouths covered with handprints. Like we said before, it's going down what happened to Emily. Pike's remains are found northeast of Globe, Arizona. The Gila, like many others, are case multiple agencies. If we went over that. Mesa Police assign cases of children who have run away and are missing to investigators who follow up on tips, according to police spokesperson Brandy Myers. Pike had run away 3 times prior from the group home, Myers said. The Arizona Department of Child Safety requires notification of a child's missing status to occur within a day. Which we went over this thing a little bit before. So let's go down to addressing. I think we did that one in the other one a few minutes ago. Aaron, executive director of the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women, said more comprehensive law enforcement training that address jurisdictional challenges increased funding for tribal programs that provide shelter, mental health resources, and legal aid to impacted families and survivors, and strengthened alert systems are among the policy solutions for which advocates should continue to fight. As an Indigenous people, we are not invisible. We deserve just as much attention from law enforcement. Our cases are involving real people, real families, real children. Yeah, I visited San Carlos Apache Reservation, Oladio. Worked over 20 years for the Salt River Pima Maricopa. Wow. Indian community. Wow. I guess that's all I got to share right here. Be sure and get the word out for this precious little girl, her family. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share. Be an advocate. If you hear anybody saying anything negative towards this girl or towards the family, don't listen to them. Speak up. Speak out. Was a precious little soul. And we need to stick up more for the indigenous population as well. And thank you, old lady O, for letting us know that you visited San Carlos Apache Reservation and worked over 20 years. Wow. I think that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. There's a lot we can learn from the native tribes, too. They know how to beadwork. They know how to do a lot of things that a lot of us don't know nothing about. You learn so much just getting by. Thank y'all, and God bless each and every one of you.